everyone. Lisa Gifford here and
Margo Rathbun.
So glad that you could join us today. So we don't have a moderator, but if you have questions, be sure to post them. We will be seeing the comments, so we'll be trying to answer any questions we have. But welcome to our Creating with Martelli show. And we have a lot to go over today. And we're so thankful that you're willing to spend your afternoon with us as we make
Margo's 1 yard apron.
Margo's 1 yard apron. So we are so excited. So while we're waiting for everybody, we'll just kind of talk for a few minutes. I had an interesting morning today.
Yes, you do. You have a nice...
I did. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what happened today, because this is how the Lord, He is almighty and everything. And I just want to tell you this story while we're waiting. This morning I had a hair appointment scheduled for 7 o'clock. Can you believe it? 7 o'clock in the morning. The hairdresser that I usually go to, she's hard to get into, so I was really surprised that I was able to get in. And she had 2 openings for today for 7 and 7:30. Hi, Renee. I told you I'd do a shout out for you. She's here with Salon Panache here in Pensacola. So I got up, flying out the door, thinking, okay, it's 6:30, I gotta go. I gotta be there. It's 30 minutes to get there. So I'm driving. I'm chit-chatting with my son, who's in the military. We were talking. He was on his way to work, and we were just kind of talking a little bit. And I got a text message from Renee, and she asked me if it would be okay if we could meet at 7:30. Well, I'm already on the road for about 10, 15 minutes, but I thought, I just texted her back, okay, sure, I'll see you then. And as I was texting her, there was this young lady who was walking on the side of the road, and she was out to here pregnant. I mean, pregnant, and she had on a long skirt, very thin, gauzy skirt. She was wearing a sweater and a t-shirt, and she was just kind of holding her stomach as she was walking. And let me tell you, it was cold. It was like 35 outside, so it was chilly.
Very chilly.
And something told me to turn around. And I quickly whipped around and came back thinking I'd try to catch her. I thought maybe she needed a ride because it was so cold. And she had flip-flops on. So I think that's why the Lord asked me to, made me go to work, go to a hair appointment at 7 o'clock in the morning, and got it changed to 7:30. So by the time I turned around, found a parking lot, and I asked her, does she need a ride? And she was just so cold, and she did. She got in the car, which I never do that. I never pull over, but for some reason, something told me to pull over. And she had 2 more mile walk to get where she needed to go. And I think that was just the Lord speaking to me to help this young lady out. Mm-hmm. I asked her, when's your baby due? She said, any day. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was early in the morning. And then I asked her, are you safe? If everything okay? She goes, yeah, I'm just trying to get to my folks' house. So I picked her up, put her in the car, and drove her back to her place. But I just felt moved. Sometimes when the Lord speaks to us, we just gotta call on it. And I think that's why my appointment was scheduled for 7, got changed to 7:30, so I could help some young lady who was walking on the side of a busy highway in the cold. Anyway, so that was just something that happened to me today. I just felt moved to help a young lady today. Sometimes we just got to do those things, right? Sometimes the Lord just calls us out to just do something. All right, so that's my story. So how are we doing today? Let's do a shout out. Who all do we have with us today? I don't see.
He's working on it.
He's working on it. I'm trying to, let me see if I can pull it up. Sent a text message to my kiddos because they wanted me to let them know that when I was going to be on. Let me see, who do we got? Here. Here.
We still got people rolling in.
Still people rolling in.
Still people rolling in. So if you're on, be sure to give us let us know that you're on. Make a comment and be sure to like and comment and share. We sure appreciate it that you help us with our getting our numbers out there as we get this show going. Now we'll be doing a show pretty much every other week. And
every other week.
We worked for how long today on getting the schedule together?
A long time.
We got
all morning.
Yeah, all morning. We got all the way up through June, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got some amazing things planned. We have some new things that you haven't seen yet that are going to be coming out, and then we're going to revisit a couple of things. So it's going to be a really good year of new projects that we have coming out for you in the near future. The one we got right now, of course, is one of our newest templates that Miss Margo designed.
Yeah.
The shoulder wrap is coming up in a couple of weeks. You want to grab the schedule? We could kind of give it a brush up of what we were looking at, because we had been putting everything down, trying to get, of course, everything is always subject to change. But the next class that we have is going to be, so we're at the end of January, so the next class will be in February, and we're going to be doing the 4-patch bowl cozy, and we're going to show you 2 different ways of doing that. So I'm not sure on the date on that one. You want to shout that out, Margo? I have it hanging on the wall. Do you see it right there?
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, just grab that. And what was the date of our March show? February, the first show in February.
4-patch bowl cozy was our first one.
Yep, and what's the date on that one?
The 7th.
The 7th. So 2 weeks from today, on the 7th, we'll be doing our 4-patch bowl cozy. So if you don't have the 4-patch bowl cozy, now's the time to get it, so you can sew right along with us. We're going to go over 2 different ways of putting them together. And then on the 21st of March, which this is one y'all have been waiting on for a long time, we're going to be doing the shoulder wrap. I'm going to be doing a simplified version of it with a single piece of fabric and with the fleece. But once you learn the dimensions of it, you'd be able to do it, whether you're making a patchwork or with a panel. So we're going to go over making the shoulder wrap. That's on February the 21st. In March, we've got brand new templates that you haven't seen, and those are going to be on March the 7th. I'm not even going to mention what they are. because we're still in the prototype phase of them, but they're going to be a lot of fun. Then we're going to be doing a template that we do have out on the 21st, and that's going to be our simple clutch, which you have seen that. We got written instructions with that one. But I'm going to be showing you how to make it out of some Minky and using the snaps. So that was a lot of fun. April, we got a brand new Mother's Day project that we're going to be focusing on April the 4th. Another project on the 18th, which is a brand new template. You haven't seen that one. So that one is coming. I'm not even going to mention what that one is because these are brand new. Oh my gosh, all of them are brand new.
She's teasing you.
I know. May the 2nd is a brand new template. May the 16th is a brand new template. June the 6th, brand new. I mean, we got new things coming. You haven't seen them yet. I don't even think David has seen them yet.
No.
So we got some really good ideas, and we were working on this to get everything all ready because it's going to be a lot of fun. So one of our newest templates is the one that we are doing today, and this is Miss Margo's 1-yard apron. You want to tell us a little bit about how the 1-yard apron came to be?
Well, I went to Mount St. Joseph Academy for grade 9, 10, and 11. And sister, I can't remember her name, was our home economics teacher. And the first thing that she had us made was an apron. She figured it was the very easiest thing to make. Well, I noticed on this apron today, actually, I showed Lisa.
So, 9th, 10th, 11th grade, so she's had this a long time.
I left the salvage on one side and didn't even sew it in to hide it.
She searched it.
Yeah. But
he's going to show that. Here it is. The salvage is on here, and it's got serge, but she forgot to fold over and stitch it down. So, what, 9th grade, 10th grade?
Ninth grade.
Yep.
First thing I ever sewed.
Isn't that amazing? And look how it's in such good condition. So when we designed this template, we literally used this project. We opened it up, we folded it in half. And I think we had it laying this way when we were working on our design.
Yep.
So we had it laying on the table like this. And we're thinking we could get a regular piece of fabric, trim it down to size, which this is 30 inches, so from the fold, 15 inches from the fold. And this is the design for the arc on what came to be this piece right here. Now, I don't know what you did with your other pieces. You didn't turn them into pockets for this one, but we thought these are also great pockets once you get them cut out. So that's where this, sometimes the things that we may have done years and years ago become inspiration for projects that we are doing. So that's what we're always looking for. We're always looking for things that inspire us to make really cool things. So that's how this project came about. So it was a lot of fun to figure it out, and something I think this was back in the fall. I think is when we had first started working on that, and we didn't even have the machines yet to cut them. We had just the paper pattern for the longest time till we got the machines going. Hey Mary, hey Ruth, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining us today. So we are seeing comments, so be sure to like, comment, and share, and if you have questions, be sure to post them here, and we'll try to answer everybody's questions as we go. So we're going to be making one today from beginning to end. I don't know how I ended up on Twitter. Let me go back to here. So yeah, we'll be making one today from beginning to end. We did get some of the prep work done, so we won't be doing so much sewing, but we're going to be showing you the whole process on making this today, right?
Yes.
Okay, so supplies. The supplies that you're going to need to make this happen, to put this together, is you're going to need the Margo's 1-yard apron template, and it comes with full written instructions. So you're going to need that. You're going to need 1 yard of fabric, and we're going to do this with just a yard of fabric, but this is a great project, and we're going to show you some samples in a little bit that you can make it out of panels. You can, I think this is a great panel project. Solid fabric. You can mix and match a couple of fabrics, and you have coordinating fabrics for the, for the pockets, so it could be something totally different. But literally, you're just talking a yard of fabric, super, super easy. We also are trying to figure out
how to make it reversible.
Yeah, how do we make it reversible? So that's something that we're working on. So we're going to get that figured out. So you're going to need 1 yard of fabric. You're going to need some clips. I got the Martelli, the smaller clips, wide mouth clips. You're just going to need some clips or pins. Pins would work also. Rotary cutter, some little snips. Maybe a marking tool, because you're going to want to mark the placement for your pockets. I'm using our large we call it the halfer ruler. It's a 2.5 inch by 34 inches because we got some long strips so we're going to be cutting off. And then maybe a smaller ruler for just smaller cuts. But an iron. I'm using a serger for a part of the project, even though it's not required. You don't have to have a serger. I just think it gives it a little bit more of a finished edge. So we got a serger that you can use for this. So that's pretty much it. This is just a simple project. And like she said, this was the very first thing that you had made. So this would be one of those great projects that if you have kids that are just learning how to sew, this would be easy to break it down into a smaller size by maybe changing out the width a little bit, moving the pocket over or the template over so you'd have maybe not a deep of a cut, make it shorter on one end. If you want to make this for a child, this would be very, very easy to modify it if you were having, for kids, for little ones to make their own aprons. So this is a really great beginner project, but we're going to have a lot of fun with it. So we're going to show you some samples. You ready to see some? So of course, whenever we make something, we always go a little wild with it. And so we're going to show you some of the projects that we had done with panels with this. This one I think was the last one that we had done. So basically all you need is a panel that's at least 30 inches. I think this one was a full yard panel, and we just trimmed it down and used some of the fabric. No, I don't think so. I think I just used a coordinating fabric for my ties and for the neck piece. And we didn't even put the pockets on here because I didn't want to take away from the panel.
Take away from the horses.
And I know you all have seen this one, but this is a great Christmas project, those really cute panels. So all you have to do is just find a panel and make sure you get it just kind of centered, and then cut it down to the size that you needed. This, typically it's 30 inches. And then I also, again, found a coordinating fabric that worked really well and used it for my straps for the neck and for the ties on the back. This is the very first one we did with the panel. So this is showing making the apron with not such a wide panel. This panel is only 24 inches. So we actually had to add a piece of fabric to each side to get it to the 30 inches. So we used this just basic black and use that same black for the ties and for the neck. So how cute is that? This was our very first panel one that we had done. I believe this one right here is the very first one
that we did.
The very first one when we got the templates. So you can't see the pockets, but they're right here. And so that would be one where if you wanted your pockets to be seen a little bit, You could maybe do the pockets in a white or a black. You could change out what fabric that you'd want for your pockets, but this is the very first one. This is the last one that I had just made because I saw this panel and I just thought this was just so adorable. Doesn't that just scream kitchen, farmhouse? This was just a perfect one. So again, this was a panel that was only 24 inches. And so I found a coordinating fabric and added it to each side to get that look there. And then, don't always have to do it out of quilting cotton. This one is canvas.
Oh, sweet.
And so the whole fat is in the pockets are right here. They kind of get lost in it, but the pockets are right here. And this one is our second or third panel one that we had done because we've had this horse panel. I just love this. This was a full yard panel, so I used the pieces that was cut off for our ties. We just centered the horse on here so it fit nice and pretty on the outside. So that one was a lot of fun. Yeah. All right, so we'll move this one aside. So I think we're ready to go. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to get started?
Absolutely. Jean Timmerman, love your hair, Lisa. Bruce Murray, glad to see you guys are doing your learning series.
It's a little short today.
Good afternoon.
Good to see you, Mary. Hi, Mary. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Jean. Thank you so much for joining us today. Be sure to like, comment, and share. All right, so we're going to start off with cutting the fabric. And I know Margo had put it all in here, but I wanted to help you a little bit more on the cutting so that you understood that you don't cut it and then you lose that you have so much, so you don't have any waste. I mean, the cutting system that we're going to go through today is going to help you so for all of your straps and you won't have any waste on this at all. So I have right here our full yard of fabric. So Margo, you want to go ahead and open that up. I'm going to set this over here. And we're going to get started on this. You know what I forgot? My glasses. I'm going to let you lay that. I'm going to grab my glasses.
I like the choice of fabric too.
Don't you like that?
Yes.
Notice this?
I do. It's got an apron on. I thought you said cupcakes over there.
I know.
And donuts.
And it even has an apron on it.
Yeah.
There's a little apron. So this little fabric we had just gotten in the storefront. So this is a fairly new one. This is Bernatech, and it's canvas. It's called, what's it called? Freshly Baked Words. It's called Freshly Baked Words by Anna Metz for canvas and Bernatech. So it's just absolutely adorable. So this is an exact yard right off the bolt. So that's, we've got it all set right here. We've got the salvages away from us and we got the fold to us, correct? That's how we start.
Yep.
So we're just lining it up on the mat and we're going to start with the cutting. So I've got it wrote down here in easy notes so that you can see how we did all of our cutting so you don't have the waste. You'll have all the pieces that you need for your strap for the neck, your two straps for the tie, and there's a gusset. There's a little gusset that's right here. I'm going to grab one of the aprons so that you can see. There is a gusset that we put up here on the top. What it does, it just gives it a little more strength for this piece on the top so it's not floppy, and it holds the neck piece real good. So it's this little piece right here. So you've got to have this little gusset that's right here. So all of these components we're going to be cutting out of this fabric right here. So the first thing that you're going to do once you have your fabric laid out and lined up on your mat is you're going to go ahead and trim it from 36 inches. So it's 36 inches. Now we're going to trim it to 34 inches. So we're going to take off 2 inches off the length of it. So it's a folded fabric like it came off the bolt. Selvages are here. The fold is here. And it's lined up on the mat. So we're going to line it up to, on this end, we might do a bit of trimming on that end to get it straight. So I'm going to have you, I'm going to lay this on here and give this a trim.
And can I come over to this side? Because I can't do it the other way.
How about if I put it right here on this side? I'm going to slide it down just a touch. We're going to trim off this side right here on the 0 line. We're going to get it nice and straight. So Margo's going to trim it off, get it just nice and square. Just make sure everything's evened up on the one edge. It wasn't opened.
Still
There you go.
open.
All right, so now it's got that little sliver off, and now we're going to come down here to the end, and we're going to cut it at the 34. So basically we're knocking off 2 inches off the bottom of our fabric. We're going to save that. Just set it aside. So let's go ahead and cut this off. And save that. Set it aside. So that's the first one. If you're taking notes, go ahead and just write these down. So that's number 1. Now from the center fold here, here's the center fold, we're going to cut it on the 15-inch. So hence the 34-inch ruler. So we're going to line up our fold, and we're going to place it on the 1 mark, because now we're going to get it to where it is 30 inches. So 15 plus 15 is 30. So we're going to go ahead and now cut the side with the selvages off, leaving the fold, and we're going to go over 15 inches and then cut off these 2 pieces right here. So we're going to set this. I'm going to have you do that. I'm going to put this on the 15-inch. And that's why it was good to have the longer ruler. And Margo's getting it on the 15. You can slide it down just a little bit right here and right there. Now, the other way that you could do this is that you could just take it and fold it up and cut it, but we're just going to show you doing this long cut all the way across at the 15-inch mark, making sure everything is lined up. We're good to go. Got it. So now you have this big piece with the fold right here. It's going to be 30 inches. And now you'll have these 2 pieces right here. So they should be, based on width of fabric, you're going to have 2 pieces that are approximately about 6.5 inches, after you remove the selvages and everything. So now you're going to have those 2 pieces. You're going to set those aside, because you're going to use those also. You'll use them again. Now here is our big 30-inch piece. This is our raw edges here, and then here's the side right here with the fold. So now there will be, you'll have this will be 30 inches, and now they're going to be 2 pieces that are 6 to 7 inches by 34. You're going to set those aside. Now you're going to take your piece, this piece right here, we're going to set this aside. We'll get to this in just a minute. And we're going to grab these 2 pieces that we had just cut off. You're going to take 1 piece of the 6 by 34, so that would be like this piece or this piece. You're going to take one of those, and you're going to cut off a 10-inch piece off of one. So this one here measures about 6 1/4 or 6.5 inches. So we're going to, with the selvage, we're just going to line it up on the edge, and we're going to cut 10 inches off on 1 piece. Hence our little bitty smaller ruler. So this is one of the longer pieces, the 34-inch pieces. You're going to cut a 10-inch piece off of it. This is what we're doing right now, is cutting the components for your gusset. Hang on to this one, set this one aside. So now you've got this odd piece that's 10 inches with a little bit of selvage on here. So now we're going to go ahead and cut 2 3-inch strips from this 10-inch piece. So we're going to set this on a 10 right here, go over 3 inches cut, and then 3 inches and cut.
So that would be 13.
Mm-hmm. Do you need a little bit longer ruler? Here's this one. So she's lined this up on the 10, and she's going to cut 2 3-inch by 10-inch pieces off of this one that we just cut off one of those sections. Because we need 2 pieces that are 3 inches by 10 inches. So there's one, and now we're going to cut our other 3-inch piece.
Did I move it? I moved it.
Yeah, just wiggle just a little bit. There you go. Yeah, and there's our little bit of waste we have right here. So we throw that away. So here's our two 3 by 10 inch pieces. So I'm just going to take them, put them right sides together. Right sides together, and I'm going to just set those aside because we're going to be sewing those in just a minute. Now we're going to take the, from the other 34-inch piece, which is that long, the one that we haven't cut, we're going to cut, let me make sure I'm reading this correct, my chicken scratch, 3 inches. From the other 6 by 34 inch piece, this is one we didn't cut off, you're going to cut a 2-inch strip and a 3-inch strip. So we're just going to go ahead and fold this right sides together. It's going to help us with our cutting. We're going to line it up on on our straight edge. We've got the selvage over here. So we're just going to line this up, and we're going to cut a 3-inch strip off and a 2-inch strip off. The 3-inch strip is going to be 3 inches by 34 inches. That's what we use, I believe, for the neck piece. And then the 2-inch piece is going to be one of our ties. Oh, you could use this longer ruler if you didn't want to do a double.
18.
Yeah, 1 to 18. Mm-hmm. So we're going to cut a 3-inch piece and a 2-inch piece. So there's our 3 inches. Hang on to this, set it aside.
And you go to the 20.
Mm-hmm. And this is the other strap. So we got this one. All right, so that's from that one. And then you're going to take that first one that you cut, the 3-inch by, the one that's 3 inches by 34 inches, you're going to trim this down now to 25 inches. So we're going to line this up on the mat. Go to our 25 and just trim off that little bit right here. So this is actually the neck piece. So it is a 3-inch by 25-inch piece. So we don't need this piece. So this is our neck. We're going to set that aside. I'm going to put this where the gusset's at. That's this one. Then we take the first strip that we cut, which was the 2 inches by width of fabric. We're going to go ahead and make sure we trim this to 2 inches. Make sure it's a perfect 2 inches. It might need a little bit of a trim. Make sure it's 2 inches. We need to trim it just a little bit. So this was that 2-inch strip that we cut off the very bottom. So we're going to go ahead and trim this off to make sure it's right at 2 inches. And it shifted on me just a little bit. You see that? Mm-hmm. This happens to me too. Or you can grab your 2-inch ruler and just trim it real quick. So there's our 2-inch. So it's 2 inches by 34. So now we're going to go ahead and trim this to the 34 inches. Because we know that this was width of fabric. So I'm going to spread it out here. We got to cut the selvages off. So let's cut that little piece of selvage off the one end. Remember, this was the very first one. It was width of fabric. And we're going to lay it on our mat. Bring it all the way over to the 34 inches. And now we're just going to trim it off at 34. So this is the other strap. You made your first strap. Now here's our other strap. So we have 2 of them that are 2 inches by 34. So that's this one and this one, 2 inches by 34. These are our straps. So we've got some ironing to make these into the straps. So we'll set these aside. You should have the 2 3 by 10-inch pieces. This is your gusset, and go ahead and have them placed right sides together. Set those aside, and then you'll have one piece that's 3 inches by 25,
Five.
right? 3 inches by 25. This is going to be the piece that we have to do little folding and sewing to make it for
Your neck strap.
for the neck strap. So that is all the pieces that you cut from trimming down your large 1 yard piece. Now we're going to set all of these pieces aside, all the components, and all this other stuff we no longer need. So you can just save it for other projects. All right, so next we go back to our large piece, because now we're going to go ahead and get it ready for cutting our pocket piece. Well, I got one right here that's already opened. So now we're going to cut our pockets out, but it's also going to be cutting out for the neck strap, or for the for the arm placement, right? That's what that's called. All right, so that's all the beginning pieces. So going back to the instructions, this is where you're going to be. Where is it? Where do we have that? Where we place it on here? So to cut out the fabric for the arm area so that you can make 2 pockets. So you're going to take your piece and you're going to lay it out. I think you have the fold away from you, correct?
Yes.
All right, so now we have our piece that we had first started with, and we have it where the fold is away from us, and we got all the raw edges up here at this corner here. This is where you're going to take this template. Now, if you'll see the template, it says top, edge, and edge. So this right here are your 2 raw edges. So that's where you set this right there at this angle here. The raw edges, this is your fold. So these are your 2 raw edges. This is where you're setting this template right here. You're not doing any cutting here and here. All the cutting is this section right here. This is cutting out and making your pockets, but it's also making for your arms.
Arm strap.
The arm straps. So does that all make sense? Now, if you want, you could go ahead and get one of our marking pens, and you could highlight those areas. You'll see that there's an I already imprinted on this template. So that means there was written instructions that came with it. Now we're going to be putting a V on there because now we have
a video.
A video. We have a video. Yay. Okay. So I'm going to have this set right here. Again, there's our fold. Here's our raw edges. As it came off the bolt, I didn't even worry about setting it up with right sides together because that really doesn't matter. It's just here's all the raw edges right here. There's our fold. Follow the edge top. This is the top. Make sure we got the way we want it. Yep, the top. And then edge, edge. So you're setting this right there on that edge. And then grabbing your rotary cutter, you're just going to cut all around. So because the rotary cutters work with this, and I can move it a little bit, I can turn it into a direction that makes it easier for cutting, right, Margo?
Right.
Making sure everything is still lined up. It's not rocket science, just lay it on here and just do our cut. I can't see any more comments. Is it scrolling? All right, so we're going to do our cut, and it works very well using the 45. And that's it. Yay! Yay. Don't throw these away. These are your pockets. And there's several different ways that you could do the pockets. You could have them like this. You could have them where they be like this. If you wanted them to be long, you could connect them. You can make one big long pocket that's going across. So whatever you want to do, but we're going to be using the pockets like this, right? Mm-hmm. Like this. All right, so that's all of that. That's basically all of the cutting that you're going to be doing on everything here, right? Because from now on, we're going to be ironing, and we're going to be sewing. So one of the things that I like to do was with this piece right here is I liked taking it to the serger. This is not something that has to be done, but I liked serging up all of these edges. So I serged all the way around everything. I don't think I serged the top. I serged here, here, and the 2 sides and across the bottom. But that's something that you can do, but you don't have to do. All right, so now we're going to go to, I think we need to go to where we go to the ironing station, and we're going to go ahead and start prepping all of our straps to get them ready. So we're going to go to the iron, and we're going to show you how we get the straps ready to go.
If I walk in front of the camera.
So we do this like basically how we do, like you're doing like a binding or something on this part. So you're just basically going to fold it in half, iron it all the way down, and then you're going to fold the two pieces into themselves and then fold it over. So we're going to get showing you on doing that. Just folding it in half and pressing it down. Like so, then opening it back up. Then folding one section into the center. Pressing that. And you're going to repeat this process for both the 2" by 34" straps and this piece right here, which is the 3 by 24" for the neck, or 3 by 25. I can't remember right off the bat. But your neck strap and your two shoulder straps, you're going to go ahead and get these pressed.
Gee, Timmerman, do you stretch first? Maybe starch first? Greg says, smile, Margo. Amy Zeller says, we are all watching enthusiastic.
Oh, Greg. I told her that too. She will. Okay, so there we got it. Now we're just folding it over. And I'm going to pull out the one that we had done so that you could see it by the magic of camera. One's already completed, where we had done exactly this. And then we're just going to do a top stitch on each side of this piece. So we're going to top stitch on both sides, just 1/8 inch on both sides. So we top stitch this one, then we repeat that for both of our long straps. You're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to fold it in half, press it, and then fold both sides into that center, press it, and then press it again. And you're going to have your straps, 2 of them, just like this. Magic.
Magic.
Magic, magic. Any questions out there? Everybody good?
But do you stretch first?
Do you starch?
You
I
can.
have not starched this at all. I would, but you can. If you wanted to starch it, you could. But I just took my regular fabric. We've ironed it just to get it all nice and smooth. I kept that center crease on it from how it came off the bolt, because that was our center point for making sure when we trimmed it to that 15 inches would be 30 inches. So we just kept that center piece on it. But you can starch it if you want, but we didn't starch anything here.
No.
Now we're getting the other side folded in.
Boy, see, it helps if you have 4 pairs of hands.
Yeah, I
when you
know,
do it.
right? Oh, Lord.
I'm stuck.
I was stuck on the,
Got it.
little bit more. All right. Now we just fold these in. And I do the same thing with this one. I literally just do 1/8 inch on both sides. And I like to do a wider stitch length, like a 0.3 or a 3.5, 3.5. It just gives it a real pretty look.
Mm-hmm.
So which one? I need to sew one, so I'll sew that one there. Or I can sew,
Gusset.
well, and then the gusset. We gotta do the gusset. Okay, so this one's ready to go, and she's going to go ahead and get that one done. And I'm going to go ahead and sew one of these up for you, and then we'll get to doing the gusset. So I am sewing today on the M7, and I'm going to sew this at 1/8 of an inch, and I'm increasing my stitch length to 3.5. And I'm literally just going to sew 1/8 of an inch on both sides, because this, I'm going to go ahead and have my little starter here. And just sewing all the way down. And then we're going to go ahead and sew down the other side. So like I said, you're going to do this to all of your straps. So you'll have the 2 long skinny straps, and then the one for your, the one that's going to be for your neck is a little bit wider. So I do the exact same thing. I'm going to do a top stitch down both sides. And that's it, right? Okay, so the next thing that you need to do, go ahead and get your gusset. So the 2 pieces that you had cut out, which camera is it? This one? Okay. So the 2 pieces that you had cut out, these are your 2 3x10" rectangles that you had cut out. So you're going to go ahead and have them right sides together. And you're going to stitch down each side on the length, not the short side, just the tall, long side. So you're going to go ahead and sew that 1/4 of an inch down both sides. On the long side, the 10-inch side. You're going to leave the 2 3-inch sides open, because we're going to flip that out from there. So just go ahead, stitch down. And you could back tack if you want. I didn't back tack. Okay, so you got the 2 sides that are stitched down. So now you're going to go ahead and flip this out all the way down. Flip it, flip it right sides out. It shouldn't be that hard to do. And then using a turning tool, you're going to press those seams out, and then you're going to press this flat. This is the gusset piece. So I'm going to grab my little, I think I got my knitting needle. Okay, grab that. So I'm just going to use a tool to just kind of push that seam out a little bit. I'm going to hand this to Margo, and she will iron this out nice and flat. I'm just pressing my seam out. It's just going to help it to lay a little bit flatter. So I'm just running this tool along that seam on both sides. There's no top stitching or anything. This is going to be sewed in when we get to that point. So this is just flattening everything out. I don't think we top stitches, so
No.
she's gonna flatten that out, iron it. So now that sewing part is done. So she's gonna get that all done. So we got the straps are done, and we have the gusset being done. Now the last thing of ironing that we're gonna do is where we have our pocket pieces. So I'm gonna grab those, because they do need some ironing done to them. Now, one of the things that I had done was I had also serged this also. But that's a preference of you. Remember, I think I should serge it. I'm going to show you why I would serge it. So I'm going to go serge these, because we'll show them these. So I'm going to go to the serger. We're going to do some serging, because I think it just makes everything look a little bit nicer. Because if you don't serge the pockets or fold it over or do some sort of thing, you're going to have to do a double fold. But by putting that time of serging, you don't have to do a double fold, particularly on the pockets, to hide all those raw edges. So I just found that using the serger for this part just seems to make everything just a little bit smoother. And my glasses, where did I put them? Not on my head.
I got them.
So Mark's going to grab for me. All right, so I'm just going to serge all the way around the pockets. I'm not trimming anything off. I'm just following it along on the edges, and we're just going to serge it. It just made it just a little bit easier for not having to roll it over so much. And you would do that to both of the pockets, and I'm just doing it to the one. Now I'm going to take my apron, the main piece, and I'm going to do some serging on it, because I found it also, I didn't have to fold it over twice to hide all the raw edges if I just go ahead and have it serged. I'm not trimming anything off, I'm just following it down. Now I'm going to serge the underarm part, just following it along. I'm not going to serge the top, because that gets folded, you'll see. Now I'm going to serge the side. And I'm going to go ahead and serge the bottom for the hem. And that's it. That's all the serging. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off these long pieces. It's going to be a little bit easier for when we go to turn everything by having the raw edges, not having to do a double fold over. And all of my little tails removed, because they get hidden in the serging. All gets hidden into the hemming. So grabbing all of our pieces, we're going to go back to the ironing station. We're going to show you how we ironed the pockets down. And I think we do some ironing on this, but I can't remember. Yeah, so we've got lots of ironing on this project. I'm going to grab my little scissors and trim those tails off the pocket. Okay. So what is it we do next, Margo? We get the pocket ready, right? We prep the
get
pocket.
the pocket ready. And I
Okay.
think the
All right, so if you see here on this pocket here, we did serge it. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold it over on the side, fold this over on the curve, and then we take the top part and we do a double fold, and then we press that down. So we're going to show doing it with this one right here. So we fold this, and then double fold that one. So it's just doing a single fold. Now, if you didn't do that serging, if you didn't want to have any of that raw edges being seen, then you would double fold it. By having the serging done, it kind of covers up that raw edge, so it's not going to be fraying as you wash it and all that good stuff. So it's just going to, just made it look a little bit neater. Now you do the curve next, because what you're going to use for the top is going to get folded over twice, so it's going to tuck all of that in.
tricky.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to grab the seam press because that's where I found the seam press worked, and holding it down so when it cooled. So you got that final fold over the top. So I used the seam press when I was doing my final press of the pockets. It just kind of held everything in place until I got to that point, because you didn't want it to come unfolded while you're waiting to where you go attaching the pockets. So when I used my block press, the block press, it kind of held everything down. So then we fold the top part of the fat pocket over twice.
Ouch, ouch, Bernie, Bernie.
Yeah, ouchie, ouchie, Bernie, Bernie. And then I'm going to plop this down. It's going to set those seams. About ready?
Yeah. Ow, ow, ow. Lift this corner up a bit.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. And so we're going to just let that set for a minute. All right, so now we're going to go to where we're going to start doing some assembly. So we're going to take our gusset piece, which is ready to go, and our neck strap. So we're going to need those components next. So I'm going to bring you back over to the cutting table, because we're going to show you what we're going to be doing. I think we're now doing it with the right sides together, right? Where we're attaching the gusset?
Yeah.
All right, so this is where you're going to might need a little bit of a tape measure, or by using your table for your guide. So you got your neck strap,
and your gusset.
your gusset, and your apron piece, the big piece of your apron. So you're going to go ahead, and I'm going to read it right here from it. So you're going to take the neck strap, you're going to attach the neck strap 1 inch from each side, and you're going to baste it down. So I'm going to clip it, I'm going to hold it in place. So I'm going to take my neck strap, and you're doing this where the right side's up, I believe, because then this goes over this way. All right, because I'm getting confused here for a minute here. So I'm going to the edge, I'm 1 inch in, and I'm placing my neck strap right here. And I'm going to clip it and hold it into place, because we're going to go to the sewing machine, and we're going to, and then make sure your neck strap doesn't get twisted, bringing it over, and I'm going to measure 1 inch from that edge, 1 inch over, and I'm going to place my neck strap, make sure it's not twisted, 1 inch in from that edge. So the edge of my neck strap is 1 inch from the edge. And I'm going ahead and clip in that one down. So the instructions tell us to go ahead and baste it right here and here, correct? All right, so I'm going to just go to the sewing machine and we're going to baste the neck strap right there.
Wait a minute.
Did something catch me? Oh, I was going to sew that in.
Yeah.
So it's just sewing it in that spot, just holding it down, just going over it. Okay, what's next, Margo?
And the gusset.
All right. So your gusset, make sure did I twist it? Is it right? I didn't twist it right.
No,
okay.
it's right.
I keep thinking I twisted it. Okay, so now we're grabbing our gusset. So this here, the width of this little section right here is, should be 13 inches or something like that. It's 12 inches. It's 12 inches across. So now you're taking your gusset piece, the one that you had just sewed wrong sides together, and you've got open edges on both sides. So now you're going to take, from what it says here, you're going to take your gusset and you're going to measure and you're going to clip it in place. So you're just going to center it. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to go right over top here. So there should be, when you lay this down, it's going to be right here on the very edge of this strap and the very edge of this strap. Can you all see that? So here where if you had laid this 1 inch from the edge and 1 inch from the edge here, this is 13 inches, this is 10, so this is going to be completely covering it right here. It just completely covers right here on the edge of the edge of each strap. And now you're going to clip that in place. I keep grabbing that big clip. I'm going to clip it here. Clip it here, and lining up that edge against the edge of the top of the apron, and you're clipping it. So remember, you're doing all of this on the right sides of your apron. And I think we stitched now all the way across. So now we're going to do a regular 1/4 inch stitch all along this piece right here. You're going to stitch this down, so it's going to also put another line of stitches over the strap. And then you're going to fold it back and press it. So we'll show you how we do that next. So we're going to do a 1/4 inch, starting at this edge of the gusset all the way to the other edge. Set my glasses down again. I can't keep track of them today. Oh my gosh. Okay, 1/4 inch. How's everybody doing out there? Y'all having as much fun as we are? All right, I'm going to back tack here because I'm going over that strap right here. So it's just going to give it a little bit of extra strength. Here, making sure everything's lined up with the top, and we're just.
Margo, would you mind taking 2 steps back? So, sorry.
There we go. Here. And sewing all the way across the other side, and then back tacking on that side too. All right, so in the directions that tell us now to fold it all the way back and press. So this is what we're doing. We're going to take this, fold it all the way back, and now that gusset is going to end up on the back side, and we're going to press this seam nice and pretty. So I think we top stitch that, but I'm going to hand it to Margaret. She'll know what to do next. So she's going to flip it back and press it. I think we top stitch that too, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice and pressed.
All right, so now we're just going to take it and we're going to top stitch all the way across from edge to edge. Because I think next we do the hem. We go ahead and get the hem ironed up. So I'm just going to do about 1/8 of an inch all the way across. I'm going to increase my stitch length to like 3.5, and we're just going to top stitch all the way across. It's just going to give it a little bit of a pretty look. So after we got to that part, it says now go to the bottom of your apron and you're going to fold it up 1/4 of an inch, press, and fold it up again. So we're going to do a double fold on the bottom. We're just going to, how far up are you going? Okay, gotcha. Do it again. Hot, hot.
Hot, hot, Bernie, Bernie.
Amy Zeller says, loving how simple this is. Would you put interfacing on the pocket, or is it snug enough that it won't flop?
It's snug enough that it doesn't flop. We haven't had any trouble with it flopping.
Nope.
I think because we do all that folding on it. You fold it in and then you're double folding the top. All right, so now what we do after we have this double fold, I think we go ahead and stitch this down. All right, so I'll go stitch this little bit right here. If you want to get real fancy, you can hand stitch it. We're not doing that. There's my glasses over there. I think I need to put my glasses on a chain.
Only old ladies do that.
I know, right? I think I'm qualified now. Oh, Lord. So you could do some decorative stitch here, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put like a little wave pattern and just kind of center this right there on the edge, and we're just going to go all the way across. We just stitching away. There, we did something pretty. So I just did this little wave stitch all the way across. You could do whatever fancy stitching or just a straight stitch if you wanted. So once we have that part done, so we're going to do the exact same thing now to the sides, right? Let's see, make sure I stitch them down. We got this next, so now we're going to do the sides. So we do now back to more pressing. So while she's pressing the sides, you're just going to fold it over. I think we just do one, right? We just do one. So she's going to do the double folding on the sides. I'm going to go ahead and take this pocket. I'm going to do that stitch across the top of the pocket. I'm going to do that same decorative stitch that we had just done. We're double folded, just flipping it over, and we're just going to do that same little decorative stitch right there. Okay, so this was just like that. So she's now doing the exact same thing. She is folding in both of the sides. Trying to read, make sure we got double fold the sides. All right, okay, because the next step, once we get that done, we stitch that down. Now we're going to work on getting the straps on, and that's where we do the arm part, right? That's how we get the straps in for the arms.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I forgot to mention the raw edge of the, if you got, oh, I forgot to mention when you're doing this for the long ties, because you have a raw edge on one side, be sure to fold that in and stitch that down when you're going to do all your folding, when you're doing all your stitching, so you don't have the raw edges of the tie.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are at the 2 sides, right?
I've done the 2 sides.
All right, so now I'm going to stitch the 2 sides down. I'm telling you, we are almost done with this thing. You just don't even know it. All right, so I'm going to just do a regular stitch. I can do that decorative stitch on the sides, right? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to do the decorative stitch on the sides? Almost to the end. Any questions out there? We all doing good? Right.
Mentioning how simple
It is. It is so simple. Margo did good. This is a good one. I love projects that are just one simple template.
Yeah, it's so easy.
Yeah. But makes something really great. All right, so we got both sides are stitched down. So now we're at this last part where we're going to be attaching our two side straps. So this one's a little bit more technical, I guess you could say, because finicky. Yeah, that's the word. It's finicky, because we're going to be doing some double folding and then slipping the arm pieces in. So we're going to show you how to do that. So you've got your 2 straps that you've already done. Here's where we stitch down our sides, and our hem is already done. So what we're working on right now is this area right here. So it's a double fold process, I believe, or is it a single fold? Let me grab the one. I think it's a double fold, but I want to be sure. I think we double folded that.
I think we have to because of this part at the neck.
Yeah, because of the neck. Has to be double folded. So you fold that one piece in right to the edge of the neck. So you can see where this is an inch. Remember we have this as an inch? So you fold it in to that part. You're going to fold it in, and then you're going to fold it over. So when you do that, it's going to cover up. Let me get this to the camera right here so you can see it. This is important so you can see this. Remember we had these 1 inch from the edge here. So you're going to fold it in to here, right, Margo? Mm-hmm. So you're going to fold in, and then you're going to fold another fold over. So now it's covering up that raw edge that was on the gusset, this raw edge right here. So you're going to do that exact same double fold all the way to the other edge. But that point is where this, when you do that double fold, is going to tuck in your strap. So you're going to have it on this end to hide this, but you're going to have that double fold now for your strap, catching it in. Does that make sense?
Savvy?
Yes, very savvy.
Very
All right,
savvy.
so that's why you got to have your straps all ready to go. So she's going to take the time and fold it over and then fold it again. And then have you some clips ready because you're going to hold the straps in place. So I'm grabbing the clips. Now I get the polar opposite of this one done while you're doing that. I got the pockets over here ready for when we place them on. You won't listen. Craig, he said you won't listen, that you love the camera.
You what?
He said you're not going to listen to him because you love the camera.
Am I not smiling enough?
You're doing fine.
I see.
She's getting our first roll over. That's why I think using the serger for this, it just kind of helps that fabric bend a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
And now the second one.
Do we sew this down?
I sew it down, I think, on the end, at the very end. Mm-hmm. So she's getting her second roll done. Okay, so then you're going to take your strap, which is the raw edge. If you would have, done what we almost forgot to tell you, to be sure to fold in that extra right there. Then you're going to slip it into that area, I would say about an inch or so, inch and a half. Do that fold over so now it's tucked into there and clip it. And then you're going to make sure you do that on the other side. She did the double right here. She did the double fold over. So I'm grabbing the raw edge of my strap, which I have right here, and I'm placing it in about an inch, inch and a half or so. And it's now tucked in there, and I've clipped that. So now we take this to the sewing machine, and now we're going to stitch all of this down. You've got it where it's holding it's covering up the raw edges of the gusset. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 clips there so it just holds it
in place.
It's holding the raw edges of the gusset, and it's holding now the straps that goes around your waist. Now you just stitch that down. Now this is where I think I do a regular straight stitch, and I sew from the back side so I can be sure to catch that edge. Making sure you have your strap out of the way so you don't accidentally sew the edge of the strap down. I'm also going to raise my stitch length up a little bit. I'm going to start I'm going to sew across here, and then I'm going to come across here. So I'm going to start here, back tack, and then come across. And I'm going to sew right there on the edge of that fold over. I'm catching it right at the very edge. I'm going to follow a line on the stitch line that I have there, and I'm going to back tack right there. I'm just following that top stitch that I had there previously. So I got that side done. I'm going to still got to clip my threads, and now I'm going to go to the other side. So now I'm going to be starting at the top and do the same thing, but I'm going to do it in reverse. So I'm going to come across this way here, and then rotate and then follow the edge down here. So I'm going to start right here on this edge of the following the top stitch that I had done previously. We're so close to being done, aren't we, Margo?
Oh, yeah.
To me, not only is this a 1-yard apron, but it can be done in about an hour.
Yeah.
It's so quick to be doing. All right. So now is your pockets. You can put your pockets in or not. We're going to go ahead and show you how we would put the pockets in.
Yeah.
So I got our 2 pockets over here, ready to go. So this is all stitched down. So everything is done. If you were doing like an apron that was like a panel apron, you didn't want to put pockets on it, then you are done. You got all your stitching done. All right, so we actually had on the paperwork, on the instructions, to help you with the placement of the pockets. So if you look where it says pockets, it says for pocket placement, measure up 15 inches from the hem and 3.5 inches from the side. So we're going to set this here. We got it lined up on the edge, right here on the edge. So we're going 15 inches from the hem. Then it said 3.5 inches from the side, correct?
Uh-huh.
So you're looking at 3.5 inches from the side. So this is where it's going to help by having your ruler, your longer ruler. It's going to help you with the placement. So I'm going to go 3.5 inches up from here. So that's this line right here. And then my 15 inches which is about right here. So you're going to be placing this pocket Was it going to be this straight edge? Was it right here?
Yep.
Okay, so this is how we had done it. So we had laid our ruler at the 15-inch mark, and then we had laid it at the 3.5-inch mark here, and we lined it up like this. So then we took our pocket and took this angle, and we put it right there in that angle. So that's right where we want it to be.
There's some pins.
So then we used pins for this part. So we just kind of pinned it into place. We wanted to make it very easy for you to be able to find, so because what you created this angle, so then you know where the pocket placement was going to be. Of course, if you're changing out the way you're doing your pocket, it might not fit in that angle if you had your pockets going the other way. But it just seemed to work real well for what we were doing. And here. I'm just kind of pinning it because I got this fold right here. It's kind of folded over. And when I used the block press, it kind of helped hold that part down a little bit better. So we're just putting some of these in place. All right, so that one's pretty good for this one. One more. Right here on the top. So we're going to repeat that on this side.
I'll get it. Here's pins.
So I'm going to set this on here. I'm going to set this on a line. And so we know we are 3.5 inches from the edge and 15 inches up. So 10, 15. So here's our first mark here. And it's 3.5 inches in. So here's our 3.5 inches right here. Here. I gotta get this more straight. I didn't have it straight. Here. Here. And then 3.5 inches. 1, 2, 3.5 inches. So right there's our placement. So we just drop this right there down in that little section. Lining it up. And now we pin it. Pretty cool, hey?
Yeah, it's so easy.
Yep. Tucking everything in. Put one here. Couldn't get clips to work for this part very well.
No, I don't think.
Nope, gotta use our pins. One more right here. All right, so we got the pockets placed. So the only thing left to do is just stitch all the way around the big curve and up this side. And be sure to back tack at the top of the pocket on both sides, all the way on both of them. And then we are done. So let's go ahead and get that done. You want to do this one? No, Margo's not going to do it yet. I always ask her if she wants to sew, and she's like, no, she won't do this.
I gotta take my shoe off.
She has to take her shoe off. All right, make sure that you have everything out so that you don't accidentally, like I would have done, sew up straps on that back side. That wouldn't have been a good thing. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get this stitched down. And I'm going to put my stitch right there. So I'm not doing nothing fancy, I'm just doing it right along the edge here. Almost there. And be sure when you get to the top to back tack. Add a little extra strength to the top of the pocket. Once you got one done, head to the other side. At the home stretch. Clips are flying everywhere. Same thing, make sure you don't have any straps underneath so you don't inadvertently sew those in.
Guess what? We're done.
Put her on, April. Put her on, Margo.
We're done.
We're done. She's done. Well, got to clip some threads, but we ain't talking about that right now. We got her done. So Margo's getting ready to model her. She's over here tying.
That looks good. Spoiler.
Get the table
Spoiler
down.
alert.
Get the table down. So we'll bring it lower on the table so you can see. What do y'all think? Isn't that just adorable? Yay! You wore the right color today.
I wore the right color today.
She wore the right color today. So what do y'all think about that? Wasn't that just, it's just the coolest thing. I mean, I just love it. Whoop, we a little twisted right here. It's comfortable. If you wanted to make this a little shorter, you can make it a little bit shorter. If you wanted to make this a little bit wider, you could just you could make the thing, instead of 30 inches, you can go 32. Make this wider by just making it wider like that. But just remember, if you make it wider, you're going to have to compensate that inches on the gusset. So if you were going, say, 32 inches, so then your gusset's going to need to be, what, like 12 inches?
Yes.
Because you're adding. So for every inch you add, you're going to add at least an inch.
To your gusset.
Yeah, an inch to the gusset, because it fits in that center where you fold it in and fold it in. You can shorten it. You can have the pockets. You cannot have the pockets. You could raise the pockets higher if you wanted them to be higher. So
Put one pocket.
yeah, you could put one big you could put one pocket right here. So you could just do whatever you want. It's just one of those fun projects. Very easy, and literally an hour. I mean, you could make this and have it knocked out in an hour. I mean, you could make these make great gifts. And you know, I think we all need to start wearing aprons a little bit more in the kitchen. I can't remember not going to my grandma's house and seeing her wearing an apron. She always had an apron on, whether she was out working in the yard or pulling things from the garden or while she was in the kitchen. The apron was just the go-to thing to have. It saved our clothes, right? Saved our clothes. It would save me a lot of clothes if I wouldn't get stuff spilled on all of them.
It saved my husband a lot of clothes.
Yeah. All right, so do we have any questions or comments or thoughts or anything? I don't know where my phone is. Oh, it's way over there, about how I kept losing track.
Well,
Let's see.
We have Amy Zellers and I'm just trying to see. It's not letting me see all the comments. It's
Okay, but I just see there's a lot. My daughter Cindy's watching. Hey, Cindy, how you doing? I don't know if Chelsea's watching or Amanda's watching or Carl's watching, but my kids said they're going to try to pop in. So I appreciate you all watching today. We had a great show,
We had a
right?
good show.
I love that you can make it in under an hour and a half.
Yeah, hour and a half. Well, you know, we did a lot more talking, but if you're just sitting in your sewing room by yourself, it doesn't take no time. I mean, because Yeah, an hour. You can literally knock it out in an hour. It doesn't take long at all. It's a lot of fun. We've made these, and they're just so much fun. You could serge it or not serge it. It's all up to you. The
Yes.
fabric is very easy, very forgiving to work with. So it was fun making it out of canvas. Try doing it with other fabrics if you wanted to try that. So that I think the canvas one was a lot of fun. It sewed very, very well, and it held it held everything down really good when you were pressing.
So stay tuned. We are
Yeah.
going to figure out how to do this reversible.
Yeah, we're gonna figure out how to do this reversible so we can have the 2 layers on it. So thank you so much for joining us today. So our next show that we're going to be doing is in 2 weeks from today, and we are going to be doing. Let me go grab them. They're over here.
Right here.
Did I throw them in the? Well, I know I got the samples.
Oh, yeah.
I got the samples over here. So we were doing the bowl cozies. So we are going to be doing the 4-patch bowl cozies. So that one won't take so long because these literally take minutes to make too. So we're going to be doing this in 2 weeks. We're going to be showing you making the 4-patch bowl cozies. Those will be absolutely fun. So those of you who have the templates, grab your fabric, grab your batting, and we will be making these alongside with you. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. We're going to show you 2 different ways of making them. All right, so we good?
We're good.
All right, so y'all stay safe and warm out there. We're expecting a cold freeze, a cold night. I know a lot of you are under some really bad weather, so y'all stay safe, stay warm. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to like, comment, and share, and we will see you in 2 weeks. You'll see David and the crew on Thursdays for the fabric sale, so be sure to catch that on Thursdays. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day.
Have a wonderful day.
And God bless.
And God bless.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
And we're at
That was fun.
It was fun.
That one is so cute.